account. Need no pennies to make the fan proud. They see that we winning, they asking us out. They paying a figure to figure it out. NMKBH, yeah, we do this for the king. I love God, but I don't play. Don't want beef like Chick-fil-A. In my bubble, in my space, I'ma ball like NBA. Y'all just do this for the pay. Dog, we do this every day. Now, yeah. This not my kingdom. This not my kingdom. No, this is his. Don't live for myself.
What's good, NMKBH Nation, man? Thank you guys for tuning in to another episode of Not My Kingdom, but His podcast. We bring on a guest, and they share their Jesus moment with us, what it's looked like, what Jesus has looked like in their life. Today, we have one of my favorite people in the world on the show. This is my roommate of 3 years, man. He's been such a blessing in my life. Camden Cunningham. Why don't you tell NMKBH Nation a little about yourself? We appreciate you, bro.
Yeah, sure. Thanks so much for having me. My name is Camden. I'm a senior at University of Kentucky. I'm studying exercise science. I'm about to get married here in May, so that's coming up. And let's see, just a little background, I guess. I've lived about 7 years of my life overseas in North Africa, being missionaries with my family. So that's a big part of my life. Other than that, I've lived around the Louisville area.
Yeah, he's really more African American than I am. I had to say that. So you said you was a graduate. You're about to get married. What kind of career path or thing do you see yourself doing upon graduation and moving into that next phase of life?
So after graduation, I'm looking to go possibly to physical therapy school, which might not work out this year, so maybe next year. And then in the meantime, I'm going to get a certification in strength and conditioning, try and get involved in that field.
Yes, sir. Getting them gains. If you want them gains, come to my man Camden, I'm telling you.
Yeah.
Now the question that NMKBH Nation loves, what we love to hear about. When did Jesus really enter your life? What does your life look like? Just tell us about your Jesus moment and what that's all looked like throughout your whole life, man.
Yeah. So I grew up in a very Christian household. Grew up learning about the word and going to church and everything. But I really got serious about my personal faith when I was about 14 or 15 years old, when I moved over to Africa for the second time. And so, that's the age where your friends are the biggest part of your life. All you care about is your friends and hanging out with them and stuff. And so it was a really tough thing to move across the world from all of them. That was a really tough season for me. I didn't realize it at the time, but I was actually kind of depressed just in those first few months of living away from everyone. And plus there was a 6-hour time difference. So even texting with them and calling them didn't really work out a lot of the time.
Yeah.
And so that was a time where I really just had to let go of that a little bit. And I realized that the only thing I really had to run towards was Jesus. And so I started taking scripture reading really seriously. Romans was a big book for me during that time, Romans 8. And yeah, that was a time where I just kind of had to let go of the things in the world and really focus on Jesus. And that's when I made my faith my own and really matured there. And he showed me that he's good, and he gave me really an abundance of friends over there, which I kind of felt like was a big blessing. Like, since you gave this to me and ran towards me, here's all these friends.
Yeah.
I ended up starting a weekly Bible study with about 6 or 7 guys in my town. And then I attended a monthly Bible study with about 30 to 40 people in the capital, the country we lived in. And so it just resulted in an abundance of friends, and which was just a big blessing from the Lord. So that was kind of the area of my life where I really became closest to the Lord, and he showed me his goodness.
Yeah, man, that's good. I've known you since my freshman year of college. Lived with you for the last 3, and one thing that I've noticed is you've had a girlfriend this whole time, now a fiance, and you're about to get married. And would you mind sharing how you've been able to have a good godly relationship this time? Not saying you're perfect, not trying to put that on you, but you've had a pretty perfect one in comparison to like what I be seeing, If you don't care to talk about how you managed to have a successful relationship and do it God's way, would you share that with NMKBH Nation?
Yeah, definitely. And I think the biggest key to it was not letting anything get in the way of me and my relationship with God. Because with a relationship, that's very easy to do. It's so easy to let your significant other become the ultimate purpose of your life. And it was especially hard for me during the first few months of our relationship because I was kind of new to the dating thing. And because it was new to me, it was really easy to let that become be in the forefront of my mind. And so it's just practicing my personal relationship with God and being like, okay, she's important, but God is the most important. And if I don't have a good relationship with him, then I don't think I can have a good relationship with her. So it's
I
kind
like
of a correlation.
that, Mom.
Yeah, there's kind of a correlation where if you're not doing well in the Lord, then you can't do well with someone else.
You sure you just 22, bro? Because you just spit some wisdom like you was 52. Come on, my boy. Hey, man, that's good stuff right there. Man, if you could tell your younger self something, what would you tell yourself?
Man, I guess it would just be trusting the Lord with all your heart, which is easy to say when you've made it through a lot of stuff and hard to do when you're in all that stuff. But that's why it comes to trust. Even when you don't feel like trusting, even when you just want to let go, you just have to hold on and know in your mind that he's good, even if you don't feel it.
I like that. I like that a lot. Well, man, you got any last words for NMKBH Nation?
I don't think so. Thank you so much for having me, and I love what you're doing with NMKBH. It's a great thing.
Thank you so much for coming on and being a guest on the show, man. That was huge. When you said you can't have a good relationship with her if you don't have a good relationship with Christ, man, that's so good because that's real talk. We like to put our significant other at the head of our life, but you got to keep God there and let him put everything else in order, man. That's so good. So NMKBH Nation, it's challenge time, and the challenge is whatever is in your life. What do you put that's above Christ? It tends to be a significant other, but it can be your business if you're single. It can be anything of your sport, all this other stuff. We gotta keep Christ number one and let him make everything else fall into place. So the challenge is to make sure you put Christ number one and trust that he will allow everything else to fall in place the way it needs to for his will to be done in your life. Again, Camden, I thank you. I appreciate you for sharing that word with us, man. That was good. You done got me excited. NMKBH Nation, y'all have a great week. We love you guys. NMKBH, out.